As you remember before, we talked about how the United States did not immediately enter World War II when it started. They actually didn't enter for a couple more years. And what really started them deciding that they would enter was actions that Japan took. And so that's what you're going to be learning about today, the actions that Japan took that caused the United States to enter World War II. So if we begin the reading, um, it says, the United States declares war. To Roosevelt, Japanese aggressions in Asia were as alarming as Germany's advance through Europe. The Japanese had seized much of China. After Germany defeated France in 1940, Japan took control of French colonies in Southeast Asia. In September 1940, the Japanese signed an alliance with Germany and Italy, limiting trade with Japan. The United States tried to stop Japanese aggression by refusing to sell oil and scrap metal to Japan. This embargo angered the Japanese because they badly needed these resources. Sparks will fly before long, predicted an American diplomat. Japanese and American officials met in November 1941. Japan asked the United States to lift its trade embargo. The United States called on Japan to withdraw its armies from China and Southeast Asia. Neither side would compromise. As the talks limped along, Japan completed plans for a secret attack on the United States, a date which will live in infamy. On Sunday morning, December 7, 1941, much of the American Pacific Fleet was peacefully anchored at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Suddenly, Japanese planes swept through the sky. In less than 2 hours, they sank or seriously damaged 19 American ships, destroyed almost 200 planes, and killed about 2,400 people. The attack was a desperate gamble by Japanese leaders. They they knew they lacked the resources to win a long war with the United States. They believed, however, that Americans were weak and had no stomach for fighting. The Japanese thought that a sneak attack would force the United States to beg for peace immediately. Instead, Pearl Harbor united Americans in their determination to fight. The Japanese made two other mistakes. First, they failed to sink the aircraft carriers stationed at Pearl Harbor. The carriers were at sea at the time of the attack. Second, the Japanese did not bomb the fuel oil tanks in Hawaii. Oil and aircraft carriers would become two keys to American victory in the war that followed. The next day, a grave President Roosevelt addressed Congress. Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan, he began. No matter how long it may take for us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people, in their righteous might, will win through to absolute victory. Congress declared war on Japan, and in response, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. Americans were now united in the cause of freedom. Even isolationists backed the war effort. The attack on Pearl Harbor had an immediate effect on Americans' lives. Young men left schools and jobs to enter the war. The economy sped up to provide the necessary supplies. A new wartime society developed with a surge in patriotic feeling. For Japanese, Italian, and German Americans, the war also brought difficulties. Many in the country viewed them with suspicion. So you have a couple slides worth of questions. First, before Japan decided to attack the United States, what did Japan want US to do? 2, what did the United States want Japan to do? Number 3, which country attacked Pearl Harbor? 4, what date was Pearl Harbor attacked? So give me the month, the day, and the year. Number 5, what state is Pearl Harbor in? Number 6, what were 2 mistakes Japan made when it attacked Pearl Harbor? They actually list 3 in the reading. And number 7, what was the main effect of Japan attacking Americans at Pearl Harbor? Make sure to look back in the reading if you have any questions that you need answered.